everybody, this is J5Lover, and today I'll be reviewing the Jackson 5's third album. But before I get to that, I want to talk to you guys about today in Jackson's history. Well, today in Jackson's history, July 26, 1982, the Jacksons' Christmas album was actually reissued, which I find hilarious because this time of year in 1970, around the summertime, is when the Jackson 5 probably would have been recording this album. So I think it's pretty cool that they reissued it when the Jackson 5 were recording it back in 1970. Now, I will be reviewing this album in the future, more towards Christmas time. I love this album. If you have not heard it, it's a must for every Christmas. Okay, now getting back to my review for the third album. So let me start off by saying this is my absolute favorite Jackson 5 album of all time. This pretty much put the Jackson 5, the Jacksons, Michael Jackson on the map for me. This was the first album that I ever heard. My parents actually introduced me to the Jackson 5 from this album and Michael Jackson. So I was 7 years old, right? And I remember my dad put on this album and, you know, I was holding this album cover and I was looking at their pictures. First off, I was so surprised that kids did music. I'd never heard any kids doing music. I thought, you know, that was just something adults did. So at 7, I was just like, wow, kids sing, they do albums, they do music, what? And so, you know, I looked at their faces. So I remember kind of going from left to right. So I remember I looked at Jermaine's face, Tito, Jackie, Marlon. And when I got to Michael's face, I thought he was the most beautiful boy I had ever seen in my entire life. And from that moment on, I was smitten and listened to every Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson record I could get my hands on. This was like summer probably of 1992, so it was a long time ago. Anyway, getting back to my review of the Jackson 5's third album. Okay, first off, I love this album. I don't think there's anything really, there's not much I could complain about with this album. I don't even have a least favorite song, so I won't be telling you a least favorite song on this record. But the teeny tiniest complaint that I have, if anything, is just the order of the songs on the album, particularly the first two. The album starts off with the song I'll Be There, and Ready or Not is second. If it were if I were putting the album together, I would have put Ready or Not as the first song and I'll Be There as the second song on the album, because Ready or Not kind of pulls you in. It's kind of a getting your attention type of song, and I feel like I'll Be There is more of a slow ballad, you know, and I think it's a nice answer to the song Ready or Not. But speaking of I'll Be There, it's a classic. It's one of the best Michael Jackson songs there ever was. I feel like it was kind of his first anthem, you know, before Rock With You, before Got to Be There, before Ben and all those other songs. It was I'll Be There. And what's so great about I'll Be There is Michael continued to sing that song throughout his whole entire career. You know, it was just such a classic. I think it's a great song. It's kind of bittersweet to me, but it's just so beautiful and lovely and soft. And it kind of puts you in a place. It takes you in a place that I think only the Jackson 5 can take you. Ready or Not, Here I Come. Now, that was a cover by the Delphonics. I love that song. I think it's great. I like the Delphonics version, but the Jackson 5, of course, always put their own spin on it. I love the harmonies in this song, and I love, like, the flute that you hear in this song. The instrumentation is awesome. Oh How Happy, great song. One of my favorite Jermaine songs of all time. The song was originally sang by a group called The Shades of Blue in 1966. But I really think their version pales in comparison to the Jackson 5. They lack what you would call that bubblegum soul that the Jackson 5 had. Now, that term was actually given to the Jackson 5 in 1970 by Berry Gordy. I just feel like it's not very soulful, the Shades of Blue version, but the Jackson 5's version is just, it takes you to church. And Jermaine's vocals are just so rich and colorful in this song, just so pure. Bridge Over Troubled Water. Now, that's a Simon and Garfunkel cover. I love Simon and Garfunkel. They're actually one of my favorite groups of all time. But I still love the Jackson 5's version. I think they do something to the song that Simon and Garfunkel don't. It's that bubblegum soul once again. And Jermaine sings lead in that too. And I just love his ending to that song. That you know, that strong harmonious ending that only Jermaine Jackson can give it. And Can I See You in the Morning is such a nice song. It's real pretty. It's kind of a slow song. It's cool. I like some of the sound effects, and I love the guitar in that song. Beautiful, beautiful song. Going to side 2 is Going Back to Indiana. Now, that song, like a lot of songs I notice on this album and the second album, ABC, was written by The Corporation. Now, The Corporation was a group of execs and producers at Motown Records that were put together to write songs specifically for the Jackson 5. And this song is definitely, you know, they knocked it out of the ballpark. Going Back to Indiana, it's pretty much their homage to their hometown. I love this song. I love the special that eventually went with it in 1971. It's so great. It just gets you in a great mood. It kind of just rallies up the troops. It's an exciting and fun song. How Funky's Your Chicken? Another exciting and fun song. Makes you want to get up and dance, and it's just got that nice funky 70s soul. And of course there was a dance that went with it that is so much fun, and sometimes Michael Jackson would perform that dance on stage. Love it. Mama's Pearl. Now that is a funny song. It's one of my favorite Jackson 5 songs of all time. But what's so funny about Mama's Pearl is originally in the studio, the song was called Guess Who's Making Whoopee, which is completely inappropriate for a kid's act. But, you know, the song was finally transformed into Mama's Pearl, which is a Jackson 5 classic. And Reach In. Now, this is my absolute favorite song on the album. I just love the lyrics. The lyrics really make you think about life. The lyrics are just so, it makes you, you know, go inward, inside yourself. Just the most meaningful song. One of the most meaningful songs of all time from the Jackson 5, and definitely the most meaningful song to me on the record. You know, think about the lyrics. Reach in, find out why you're living. Reach in, find that tree of wisdom. Reach in, reach in. Just such a great, great song. Next song is The Love I Saw in You Is Just a Mirage, which was written by Smokey Robinson. I mean, it's a hallmark song of Smokey Robinson. It has Smokey Robinson written all over it. Just the wording, the music, you know, it's definitely a Smokey Robinson song, and it's one of my favorite songs on this particular album as well. I love the layering and the stacking of the song, you know, from the lyrics, the way it kind of just, you know, pulls you in, and it just really, the lyrics are very well stacked. The music is very well stacked. Love that song. And the last song, love it too, Darling Dear, one of my favorite Jackson 5 songs. It's just such a beautiful song, a nice finish to this particular album. It just, I love the orchestra in that song and the bass. Oh, it's beautiful. I think musically, you know, and recently I've heard like sort of the breakdown of this song, you know, with less music in the background, the stripped Michael Jackson songs. If you haven't heard it, you should totally get that CD. It's an amazing CD. It really gives you the chance to truly hear Michael Jackson's vocals for what they really were. You know, he was just such an incredible singer at such a young age, and so it really gives you a chance to hear the song, to me, in a whole new way. But on this album, you know, just the whole orchestra, the way it was pulled together is so fantastic. Love this song. So yeah, that is my review of the Jackson 5's third album. Thank you guys for watching once again. If you liked today's video, please like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you think of this album, or what your favorite Jackson 5 album is, or what your favorite song is on this album. And of course, you can also follow me on Instagram. I have the link to that in the description below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.